this for you guys every night, but how big of a factor did that play in tonight's game?
It was big tonight. We knew their coverage is coming in, and we thought, their weak part of their defense was, in the paint, and they don't have a lot of, rim protectors like other teams do. So we tried to exploit that tonight, and I think we did a good job. Shai did a good job playing out a pick and roll, hitting the roller, and then Fave hit a lot of, little mid-ranges, touch shots. We were good out of, when Fave caught it, making the next pass. So I think when we got the ball into the middle of the key, that's when, they were vulnerable, and I think we took advantage of that tonight.
This is a different type of win for you guys, holding on to a big lead for the majority of the night. Just what's that experience like for you guys as you continue to build onto these?
It was good. I mean, we've obviously spoke about not starting off slow and, trailing from behind all game and having to wait until the third, fourth to make that late push and get back in front. But tonight we came out strong out the gates. We kind of led from the front all way. We controlled the pace. I think we set the tone early on, and that was good. It's a step in the right direction for us in terms of coming out the gates early and ready to play.
Nick Gallo, OKCThunder.com. I want to ask you about Shai's night, particularly his first half. I think he was 9 of 13 in the first half, just kind of got anything he wanted in the lane, despite them having long, big wing defenders on him.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really faze him who guards him. He knows he's going to get that attention. They were trying different coverages at him. They were trying to trap, trying to play in a drop, but nothing was really working. And he was in a groove. He was hitting tough shots. He was getting wherever he wanted on the floor. And when he's in that kind of mindset, he's a tough player to stop. And when they're trying to guard him one-on-one, there's not a lot of guys in this league that can stay in front of him. And he makes tough shots. And I mean, at times you give credit to him because that's the type of player he is. But at times the defense, you kind of just got to nod your head and tip your hat to a player like that who makes tough shots over you. And that's what he does. And he was, big for us all night.
Yeah, Cliff Brunn, Associated Press. You guys were, for a while, they're on quite a losing streak. You had the big blowout loss. You're 5-3 since then. You got 3 good wins in a row, the last 2 against pretty good teams. Where is your confidence right now? And what did you do to get back to this point?
Yeah, it's our confidence is always high. I mean, we lost, I think, 7 or 8 in a row. And it would have been easy to go into our show, make excuses. We're a young team, blah, blah, blah. But I think credit to our guys. After that Memphis game, where we set a record for the biggest loss. And I think guys took that personally. We wanted to come out and prove a point that that's not the team we are. And we didn't want to be remembered for that. And I think since then we've come out with an edge, a chip on our shoulders to prove to teams that when you come into our building or we're coming into you, it's not going to be an easy game. And I think teams are kind of understanding that now. And hopefully that's a message to send it.
Joe Masato, the Oklahoman. Josh, Darius seems to have, taken to coming off the bench really well these last few games, giving you guys a spark there. What have you seen from him?
He's been awesome. In his role off the bench, he provides that spark, him and K-Rich. But, for Bays, as I said it the other night, but it would have been easy for him to, see it as a negative as him going to the bench. But he's flourished in that role. He's been awesome for us. I think, a lot of these, past 3 games have been on Bays' shoulders, and the energy he brings for us on both ends. He guards, usually the best player on the floor with that second unit. So the work he does on the defensive end for us is huge, and offensively he's been playing really well.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic. Josh, you've been scoring in a variety of ways over the past 3 games. I'm just curious, what feels most comfortable offensively as far as scoring the basketball, and then where do you feel like you need more work?
Yeah, I mean, just trying to read with the defense. Memphis, they were going under everything, so trying to punish that. Tonight they were in a drop, so just I'm going to see different coverages and trying to adjust the way I play to that. But there's a lot of things I need to work on my shooting, work on finishing, especially around that mid range, because that's a part of the game that teams are kind of forcing you to shoot. So if you can't make those shots, it's going to be a long night. So playing in that mid range area a little bit more, finishing at the ring against big bodies. So there's not a lot of game I still got to work on.
Is was working on your shot more something you do in the off season as far as reworking your shot, or is that something you feel like you can do in season?
I mean, mechanically it's off season's more the time for that, but during the year it's just a lot of reps. I'm in the gym every day with Mike Wilkes, one of our assistants. So he's been doing a great job with me, and a big part of it is just confidence. Just keep shooting, keep trusting yourself, and confidence has never been a problem for me.
Hey, Josh, congratulations on the win, first of all. Third straight win for you guys. How big confidence booster is this? And what is the main things that you would like to maintain on your game after that win?
Yeah, it's a big confidence boost. I mean, 3 in a row, and as I said earlier, against 2 pretty good teams in Memphis and who we played tonight? Denver, sorry. Yeah, Memphis and Denver. So yeah, I think sending that message that when you come into our building, it's never going to be easy, and I think we're doing that now. Teams are starting to take notice and then realize that. So hopefully we can, moving forward, we can maintain this confidence and go to Phoenix tomorrow night, who's one of the best teams in the league, and continue on this momentum and hopefully get a win there. Thanks, guys.
Shai, you guys had the offense really humming from the very outset. Just what was working so well to get going so early in this game?
We were just playing smart, aggressive basketball, and taking what the defense gave us. Denver plays aggressive coverage in the pick and roll, especially, and we didn't fight it. We made the necessary passes and played unselfishly.
And speaking of the pick and roll there, you found Fave on a lot of those little short rolls. Was that something that you were just reading in game, or did you kind of anticipate that would be there tonight?
Yeah, with the coverage they play, that's what they give up. That's what's going to be open. And obviously Fave makes those shots. So we just wanted to be aggressive, make sure he was in rhythm, and try to make them pay as much as we can.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic, your second career triple-double tonight. How much of that is on your mind? You're clearly focused on winning the game, but is like getting that last rebound, you have like 1:30 left. Is that on your mind at all?
Nah, not at all. I don't really I can't keep track of the stats when I'm playing. I'm just trying to win and just try to make the best basketball play every possession on both ends of the floor. And whatever happens. And towards the end of the game, my teammates were aware and told me. So that's why I kind of knew towards the end, but I don't focus on it at all.
And then Darius has been coming off the bench for a few games, had a really nice game tonight. I'm just curious what it's been like on the court and then how he's handled it off the court from your perspective.
Yeah, Baze is a professional. So no matter what, he's gonna, do what he can to contribute to the team, be the best him for us. He did that tonight, and I expect nothing else from him for the rest of the season. No matter if he's starting, coming off the bench, 6-man, it doesn't matter.
Joe Masato, the Oklahoman. Shai, Michael Malone benched his starters for the entire fourth quarter. I was just wondering, if you guys noticed that. I'm sure you did, but just your reaction to that.
I for sure noticed, obviously playing. But I don't have no reaction. I just was playing basketball. It's their team, their coach. They do whatever they want to do, obviously.
Thanks.
Yeah, Cliff Brunn, Associated Press. Obviously, you guys went on a losing streak, had a record loss, but now you're 5-3 since then. Where did your confidence come from to bounce back like this? And just what's been the key to how you've been playing since that point?
Just try to move forward. Look at every day like an opportunity to get better, and learn from your previous days. We try to do that every day, whether we're at practice, just watching film on the road, or playing a game. And then we know that if we do so every day, we'll ultimately get better.
Nick Gallo, OKCThunder.com. In the second half, you got to the free throw line 6 times, seemed like really determined to just kind of get downhill, try to attack, draw fouls, but only had 1 turnover. How were you able to kind of balance being aggressive, trying to draw fouls and not making any mistakes?
Just try to make the right basketball play every time, and try not to force anything, sorry. Take what the defense gives you. And growing up, that's what I've heard. That's what I was taught. You take what the defense gives you and you'll be all right.
All right, we're taking Zoom now. Go ahead, Christos. You have the question, the last question.
Hello, Shai. Congratulations on the win, the performance as well. During the November, you have some tough losses against in Memphis, against the Pelicans in the last shot of Devontae Graham. What did you learn after those 2 games as a team? And do you believe that you earned the respect of the whole league right now with your performances, with your games as well?
We obviously weren't doing enough to get W's in November. I think on both sides of the ball. But like I said, we were aware, we know that, and we just try to get better every day. And I think we can all say we are getting better. What was the second question?
Do you,
I'm not sure. We're not worried about it though. We're just worried about ourselves and getting better every day.
Mark, the Nuggets have I think the sixth best offense the last 10 games. You held them to 94 points. What was like in your game plan that really worked tonight?
I thought, with Jokic's passing, some of the shot making and the individual plays that he can make, we really tried to limit his ability to ignite everybody else because it doesn't stop him from scoring either. So it's once it's him and then it's everyone else, it becomes tough. And I thought our guys did a great job with the game plan there of not giving up cuts. And when we posted, we doubled them, or when they posted, we doubled them. And they did a great job in the help because there's a lot of weak side movement and it requires a lot of awareness and communication among the team. And I thought our guys really did a nice job of that, carried that over from shoot around and executed that well, made him throw it to the weak side. And then you turn their other players into playmakers. So I thought, tip my hat to our guys in terms of the execution of that.
Were you surprised that you didn't see Jokic like the last 6 minutes in the game at all?
I get what he was doing. He was upset with those guys. I think everybody's kind of running their own race, and we all just kind of cross paths in the season. And so we can't get overly concerned with what they do, but he's coaching Denver, we're coaching OKC. We're just kind of going to stay focused on our stuff and, they play who they play and we're going to go out there, play the games.
Here's Lawson, OKCThunder.com. Wanted to ask you about Shai's performance. Obviously a triple double for him, but it seemed like all night long his game flow and his way on the floor was really hard to guard. What stood out to you the most in terms of just his floor game tonight?
I thought, they're pretty aggressive in their coverage generally, and even more aggressive with a player like him. And I thought his pace of play, especially in the first half, was pretty impressive against pressure. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing when you aren't facing pressure and the big's back in a drop and you can just kind of play at your own pace, but it's quite another when teams are trying to heat you up and they're aggressive in their help. It's hard to maintain a certain steady pace. And I thought he just kind of cruised at his own pace there, especially early in the game. And did a nice job finding his teammates, obviously, as well, spraying out there for shots and cuts. And, guys did a good job of moving, which is critical against a defense like that.
In that regard, he found Fave on a couple of those little short roll passes. I think all of Fave's points were assisted by Shai. Just what was working so well with that dynamic tonight?
Yeah, they bring their big all the way up and they try to take it out of the guard's hands, and they use a lot of hand pressure to do that. They're hard to not turn the ball over against. So I thought our point of attack decisions were really good. We only had, I don't know how many turnovers we had, but it was a low number tonight. And then how many did we have? Am I lying? Yeah, it was a good turnover night. And then because their big is so high, you have the opportunity to kind of play through. They're trying to make, your 5-man the playmaker. And so I thought Fave did a good job. Roby found a good weak side play. J-Rob did a good job in there. I thought Bays did a good job at the 5 there a little bit. So, Shai did a good job trusting it. Josh did a good job trusting it. And then those guys made plays.
Nick Gallo, OKCThunder.com. You guys built the biggest lead that they've had all season. This was an opportunity to fight for that, hold on to that. What did you think about that? And just overall having this type of experience when you've had a million comebacks so far this year?
Yeah, we haven't been in this situation a ton, obviously. It's part of the 48-minute mentality. You got to be able to keep playing when things aren't going well and you're down, and you've got to be able to keep playing when things are going well and you're up. And they switched lineups tonight. They switched defenses. They switched 1 through 5 against our second unit. They played a lot of zone in the second half, and they were just trying, I think, a lot of different things to try to throw us out of rhythm. And it was effective there at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and certainly a lesson we can learn. But with that being said, I thought the starting group did a good job of going back in there and stabilizing the game late. And I give our team credit for building that kind of lead. There's a reason we were up by, 12, 14, 16 points. And it's because we executed on both ends of the floor, really well for the first 3 quarters of that game.
Joe Masato, the Oklahoman. Mark, you guys outscored them 62-36 in the paint. I know Shai got that started early. With his, they couldn't keep him out of there. But what do you like most about that number?
We like both numbers. The especially for them. I mean, they're kind of a bruising team right now. They're playing Green at the 4, at the 3. They're playing Gordon. They try to crash him in there. Obviously, Jokic is a load at the rim. So defensively, I thought we did a really good job of playing inside out. And they banged in some shots there in the first half too. Morris made a couple pull-ups. Barton made a couple like contested wing threes, which are shots we're willing to give up against them. And we kind of just stayed the course with the game plan on that end. And then offensively, we certainly want to play through the paint, drive the ball. Tonight we did it with the pass a little bit because obviously their coverage was high. And like I said, it was really good execution for much of the game for our team.
And then what would you think of Darius off the bench tonight?
I thought he played well. He played, we talked about, him playing to his capability and consistency. And look, it's a different, developmental experience for him, just like all of our other guys. We're, Shai, closing a game, Josh Giddey closing a game with a 14-point lead is like a different context for them. And that's where you grow. Our second unit tonight, having to hand the game back off with a pretty significant lead, different developmental context. That's a good thing, and Bayes, part of being a pro is, being able to adapt to different roles and different situations where your number gets called. And he's had a pretty steady role for a while now. And this is a good growth opportunity for him.
Thanks.
Anybody else in the room? Got one question on the Zoom. Daniel Bell, go ahead with your question, Daniel.
Yeah, Coach. You guys started big, but you gave extended minutes to a small lineup with either Kenrich or Bayes at the 5. Don't know which one was technically playing the 5, but what'd you like about that lineup?
It's one of the opportunities, that we're exploring right now is, we've because of our center play, we've had pretty traditional lineups. I guess you could say J-Rob's more of a hybrid center, but we've been pretty traditional up until this point. And, taking a look at smaller lineups, Bazley makes you very switchable defensively and can still put pressure on the basket as a roller. So that's a good opportunity. And like I've said before, J-Rob tonight, Jeremiah, we talked about him being a guy that can play kind of 2 positions, and he had his portfolio was diverse tonight. He played the 4 to start the game and guarded Gordon. Then he had some minutes against Jokic at the 5, both offensively and defensively, and then closed the game at the 5 against a small switching lineup. And so he had to adapt to a lot of stuff in the game tonight. And so, like I said before, the more we can put our players in diverse experiences and try to help them, plow through those, the more we're going to grow. You don't grow in a test tube. And so, our players are doing a good job of embracing that.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep. Thanks, guys.